Mike coming at you with a brand new series. Welcome to Matty Meets, where I have a little sit down with members of our community and we can get to know them that little bit better. Our first esteemed guest is highly considered to be one of the best Planet Coaster content creators on the console, creator of the Rome Park, my partner on Black Citadel, and most recently his incredible Lord of the Rings park, which is fast approaching 10,000 views. I'm highly honoured to introduce Albriss. How are you doing, Albriss?
Hello! Thank you for having me back again. How are you doing? I'm good.
I'm doing very, very well. Really excited. I mean, you're going to be the first person on this series. I mean, how does that feel, being the first person to have this interview?
It's such an honor, and your introduction you just did was amazing because Warren and I are sitting here together. She's actually listening, by the way.
Hello. Everybody say hello, Warren. I'm waving.
There she is. We have one of those headphone splitters, so she can actually listen to everything you say. And I just enjoyed
Oh, that'd be nice, then.
I have to say, she made some very improper gestures, which I'm not gonna elaborate further. But yeah, very nice.
I'll bear that in mind. I mean, we'll kick things off straight away with. I mean, how does it feel being put on this pedestal of one of the best console players out there? I mean, your name is thrown out there with Flooded Tombs, NH99, strongly considered to be one of the best creators on the console. How does it feel to have that amount of pressure put on you?
Feel good, thank you.
I mean, we all know that Warren does all the work. I mean, that was going to be one of the questions later on, was how much does Warren do and how much do you take the credit for? I mean, we'll merge them together. I mean, we all know that Warren does all the heavy lifting, really. But no, seriously, I mean, how does it feel? Because that must be a lot of responsibility and a lot of pressure put on your shoulders.
I wouldn't say it's responsibility, to be honest. I mean, it certainly feels great. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, not like that. I certainly enjoy that part, but I never saw myself as one of the great builders until, famous YouTubers like you, for example, mentioned me repeatedly in your videos. So it was probably then when I started watching your spotlights and when I realized, wow, maybe I am quite good at the game. I don't want to say the best or one of the best. I want to be a little bit humble, or at least pretend to be, but
you don't need to be humble here. You're among friends. It's fine. No one's going to watch this. It's absolutely... I mean, this is just between me and you, brother. Just between me and you. Nobody will watch this. It's fine.
Only 3,000 subscribers, but congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, to be honest, I mean, yeah.
I was just going to say, I mean, the things that you create. I mean, this is going to be a bit of a two-part question. I mean, first of all, where do you get your inspiration from? And following on from that, I mean, it's well known that you use pieces in the game in such a unique and original way and create things that none of us have ever seen before. I mean, how do you look at these items and think, do you know what? I'm going to use it in this manner. What's your thought process?
All right, to answer the first question, the inspiration, it depends. So for example, the most recent park, the Lord of the Rings park, obviously Warren and I were big Lord of the Rings fans. And that was always a dream to kind of build that. But for the other parks, for example, the Empire, or what was before? What did you build again, Warren? Oh, the Aztec Park.
Yeah. What did Warren build? Yeah.
And Fable, yeah, she knows better than I do. If we go in order, so the Aztec Park, what's it called again? I forgot.
Aztecia, wasn't it?
Aztecia, yeah. Sorry, that was the cheapest name I could come up with back then because, well, Aztecia, Aztec Park. But yeah, so that one I built when we just got the PS5 for the first time. And it was certainly mostly because of the adventure pack when it came out. Or I don't know if it just came out, but when I bought it, I thought I want to utilize the pieces, and that's when the ideas came ahead, and I just looked at pictures, to be honest. We browsed through the internet, looked at those Aztec pyramids and all that kind of stuff, and mixed in with some Indiana Jones jungles or whatever, and it kind of happened from then. For Fable World, it was more I would say as a German person, I wanted to build something that represents my heritage, you could say. And huh? Warren wants to say something. Go ahead, come here. Yeah, here's
No,
the mic.
I asked you to build a Neuschwanstein.
Ah, that's how it started. Ah, yeah, the Neuschwanstein Castle in Bavaria, right? So that's actually also the centerpiece of the whole park. I think that was probably
Yes.
one of the first things we built, and I know I'm going. It's a long answer. I'm so sorry, but
That's absolutely
yeah.
fine.
So that's right. I think she asked me to build the castle. She remembers more than I do because she's building those things. But yeah, and I tried to rebuild it in a certain way, and then it kind of evolved into this park, German park. We looked through tons of pictures as well. Like there's a very famous city or little town in Germany. It's called Rothenburg ob der Tauber, and there's a split street. So if you remember, I mean, you did the spotlight. I'm not sure if you remember, but when you walk through the entrance gate, there's a split path. So one goes slightly up on the left, and one goes down to the right.
Yeah.
And that certainly came from Rothenburg ob der Tauber. The whole kind of building and structure. Of course, it has some influence or fantasy elements from us, but yeah, that was the inspiration for that. And then we just looked up buildings, German buildings and structures, and kind of rebuilt them in our own style. And yeah, that
Well,
was
whatever
that.
you did, it worked. Whatever you did, it worked.
Work quite well.
It certainly put you on the map. That park put you guys on the map, didn't it? And you set yourself such a high bar with that park. I remember saying at the time, how are you going to surpass this? And then, of course, obviously the Empire came along.
And the Empire was quite different in the approach, because we didn't have a plan to actually build a Rome park in that regard. But I remember laying in bed and I was thinking about Planet Coaster. That happens frequently when I'm really into the game. For a period of weeks and a period of time, I keep thinking about it to a point where I can't sleep, basically. And Warren knows that because she's sometimes next to me, and it's haunting me, you could say. The whole game is just haunting me at times. And I was thinking about the idea of having two roller coasters fighting in a Colosseum, gladiator style. So that's when I was thinking about having the whole Colosseum built with a dueling coaster in it. And yeah, from there, it's the same thing, basically. We looked at buildings on the internet. Normally Warren finds the buildings and then she tells me how to build them. She gives me instructions and I try to replicate it as good as I can, and afterwards she adds all the greenery you see and all the not all the details that but a lot of details she adds afterwards. And yeah, that was the inspiration for that, just a dueling coaster. And for the Lord of the Rings park, well, yeah, it's obvious.
It's Lord of the Rings.
It's Lord of the Rings. It needs to be done. It hasn't been done on console before. At least I don't think so. I'm not
Certainly not to that scale, I don't believe.
Not to that scale.
I know that Deep PHS did Rivendell, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. The Rivendell inspired park, and that was very, very nice. By the way, as a side information, I tried to be different than that because I remembered that park, and obviously I needed to build my own Rivendell, but I didn't want it to look like what he's done. So I needed to come up. I chose a very different color scheme. I tried to use pieces that weren't used, which is not that weren't used at all, but kind of deviate from what he's done. And yeah, that was tough to actually be different than what other people have done before. But the hardest part, I think, were the Hobbit houses. I
loved them Hobbit houses. They were so good. No, I loved them.
I think they turned out well, but and here we come to your next question, the uses of pieces and stuff.
I forgot I'd even asked that.
Yeah, you did.
Hang on, what was that, like 10 minutes ago?
And I'm sorry, I talked a lot. I'm sorry. My 20-minute video, but
I mean, finding out the inner workings of your brain and how you're approaching these things is fascinating, and I'm
my
sure
brain
that
is
other
small.
people...
Don't worry, my brain is small, and
I'm sure lots of
it's not
people
very
are
complex.
fascinated to hear how you approach these things. But no, I mean, please go on. I mean, how you look at these things and decide how to use them.
It's basically just me browsing through the whole bunch of pieces, all of them, including all add-ons, and I look through them, and obviously the longer you play the game, the more you kind of make connections, like this could work together with that, and that works well, and this and that, and blah blah blah. So it's just, I think I said it before, but it's basically just knowing the pieces and looking through the pieces. And also I have a lot of inspiration, I have to say, from the PC builders. So when I first bought the game, I think that's also a question maybe you wanted to ask. But yeah, when I looked at the PC builders and how they utilize small pieces, you know, those wooden brackets to build roofs and all, I would like
Yeah.
to do that. Obviously, the piece count prohibits me from doing it, but it's basically inspiration from the PC builders, but also looking through the pieces, knowing the pieces, and then, to be honest, sometimes I walk through our real world, like where we live in the real world, and
What's
I look
that?
at it in the, yeah, I know.
I live in video
But
games. I don't know what you mean about this real life.
and to a certain degree, so do I. And I live so much in video games that sometimes I walk down the street and I look at things and buildings and I try to see the Planko pieces. Like I'm looking at, like Warren and I, we go.
Don't try. You saw everything in the pieces in the game.
It's true. Like sometimes we walk down the street and I tell her, like, this is what I would use to replicate this building in Planko. And then she's there like, are you some kind of madman? I'm like, yes, my dear, I am. And then, you know, but she still supports me. And this is how it goes. Like sometimes I'm just obsessed with this game and I don't know why. I don't know how it came, because I was never really good at... Man, I'm really talking a lot. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. But I was never really into... Like, I was never good at computer games or whatever kind of games. And when I saw Planet Coaster, I asked Warren, I'm like, should I buy this? And she looked at me strangely and she's like, are you stupid? You want to like build, like, what for? Like, she used to play Red Dead Redemption or God of War, and I'm like, well, I remember the time when I was really into it. Okay, so like 20 years ago.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna sit back. I don't think this is going the way that anybody envisioned. I think anybody that's
No.
tuning in was like kind of expecting some short, quippy answers.
I did have a few
It's all right.
beers,
Everyone's
I have
turned
to
off.
say. So, I did have a few beers with my dad, so excuse me. I'm very talkative right now, but yes.
I've got to get footage for all of this. It's fine. I'm gonna have like 45 minutes of like cinematic footage. It's fine.
You could just show a stupid picture of my face sitting there, like red-faced and like an idiot. This is Albriss talking. No, but like seriously, I remember, and this is important. I swear this will answer the question, or I will stop this question after this answer. But I was playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 with a friend, and I didn't have a computer, and that was in, I don't know, 2003, 2, maybe a little bit later, maybe 2005. I can't remember, but anyway, he had a computer. He had Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and I used to visit him like twice a week, and we played on his computer, and he only built roller coasters and stuff. And I always told him, hey dude, you need some more flowers, you know, for the queue line, or you need some more buildings. So I had that idea of more detailed parks, whereas he just wanted to build parks with roller coasters, and that's it, where roller coasters crash into people and kill all of them, which was funny, yeah, but you know, why not have flowers where the blood can splatter on? So oh, sorry, do I have to take that out of the interview?
No, I'm going to keep that in. I'm going to keep that in. It's all good. We're just rolling with it. It's all right. Everyone's tuned out by now anyway, so.
Probably. I'm so sorry. But yeah. So that was when the foundation was built, and I think that came back when I saw Planet Coaster on the PlayStation Store, and I just bought it for old time's sake because it reminded me of the Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 times, and I don't know. Ever since then, we like. You want to say something? Warren wants to say something. Sorry, hit the
I
mic.
said to him, who would sit here and use little piece to build up a castle or a house, and I end up like 200 hours on the game.
Yeah, she has like a ton of hours in the game.
I can imagine. Like with the level of detail that you both go into, I can only begin to imagine how long it takes you to create these sensational parks that just continue to blow us away. I mean that leads us beautifully into my next question. I mean, roughly how long does it take you to build these parks?
Whew. Months, weeks and months. It depends a little bit. For example, the contest park, the pirate park, that was done within a month. Basically, that was quite fast, but it was
That was the one for Corvus's 5K challenge, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I had a lot of fun with that. That was really good. The others took a few more months, like maybe roughly, I would say 3-4 months on average.
I mean, it's been about 6 months since the last Lord of the Rings park. I think what we're all sitting here wondering is when the Two Towers. What's happened to the Two Towers?
Oh, it's a very painful question.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but we hold no punches here. We go for the difficult questions. The people demand the Two Towers. When's it coming?
It's in progress.
Is it going to be this year? Are we having a George R.R. Martin with a Game of Thrones here? Are we going to be waiting like 8 years?
Okay, so let me elaborate on that a little bit. So first of all, the next park that's going to come out very soon, it sits at 96%, is a completely different park. It's not
What? I mean, what? What happened to Lord of the Rings? You got sidetracked.
Okay, the problem is the Lord of the Rings park sits at 86%. It's almost done. I might have miscalculated my percentage a little bit, so I ran into similar problems like Jan, for example, did with his Marvelous Realms.
Yes.
I think it could be finished, and I cannot explain it without really spoiling the biggest thing of the whole park, but there is a certain scene that really makes the frame rate drop.
Helm's Deep.
I didn't say that.
It's going to be Helm's Deep. It must be Helm's Deep.
It's Helm's Deep, and it really drops the frame rate. So I envisioned, and I actually already built, I think, what could be one of the coolest and grandest and greatest ride sections, let's call it, ever done. That's really, it's in scale. It's really, it's amazing. But the frame rate is so terrible, and that. Sorry, I had to cough there.
No, you carry on.
You heard that.
I did hear that. I did hear that. I mean, I think it's safe to say that we are all eagerly anticipating whatever you release next, whether when the Two Towers comes out, your next park. I know that all of us will be eagerly awaiting that with bated breath, and I can't wait to see what it is that you come out with next. Are you okay there? Do you need to take a drink?
Yeah. I have one here.
You take a drink.
What's happened? I'm sitting on the carpet, so there's lots of dust here.
Oh, that'll be why.
Him because he's spoiling the park.
Okay, right, we won't discuss that more. We won't discuss that anymore. So, before...
Anyway, the next park, the next park is going to be something completely different. Nothing to do with Lord of the Rings. Just that's all I can say.
I look forward to that. So just before we finish off, I'm going to throw some quick fire questions at you. Who are your other favourite creators? I mean, that could be PC, console, and what is your favourite park from another creator?
Okay, so favorite creator PC-wise is obviously Silverette.
Yeah, good choice. Great choice.
I don't know if it's... And Yura, who actually joined your Discord recently.
He did, yes. He did, yes.
I always admired his buildings too. So yeah, those two were very influential to me. So I like those. Park-wise, I really liked NH's. It's not Alpine Park, but the Alpine Park.
Yes, I know which one you mean. Yes.
Yeah, one of the first ones, I think. I really like that one. The recent Game of Thrones park.
By Anthony Duhigg, yeah.
By Anthony, Duhigg, I really like that. Just the scale and scope is just blew me away. Jan BK's parks, I also liked so much, but I'm so disappointed that he didn't finish Marvelous Realms.
No, I
So
think we're all disappointed about that one.
Yes, so I'm waiting for the next big project. I feel like I'm leaving out so many people, but I don't want to. But out of the top of my head, it's so difficult.
There's so many amazing creators, isn't there?
Oh, I really love Sidelax's experience rides. They are also it's not technically not parks, but
He's the master of what he does. Yeah, I mean, you're looking
yeah.
for ride experience. Silex is the master of the ride experience, isn't he?
Yeah, and Hobo Billy, for example, he builds all his Simpsons and Avengers things. I think that he built recently are just mind-blowingly good. So
Yeah.
Hobo Billy, it's so many good people. I don't know. It's hard to limit it to a favorite. If that was a question, I can't remember. But if you ask me for a favorite, I can't really.
No, that's fine. That's
too many
fine.
talented people.
What's your favourite
cut it
park
short.
that you've created?
Yeah, I think the Lord of the Rings park. Just because it's all custom. Everything is always custom, but the Hobbit houses and it has such beautiful scenery, like Tom Bombadil's house and Weathertop and Rivendell and the Balrog and everything. I think
Lots of
it's
research.
that was a lot of research and how to build it properly and using the pieces. I think that's the biggest achievement. Like the Empire is great, certainly, but from a building perspective, easier. So I would say Lord of the Rings.
I think that's a great choice, and there we go. I think we'll wrap up the first Matty Meets. I mean, it's just been an absolute pleasure having you both along and actually hearing your thought process and how you approach the things and the way that you approach Planet Coaster, and just getting to know you more and allowing the people within the community to start getting to know you better, because you are quite relatively quiet within the community. I know you like to keep yourself to yourself, and I mean, as you put it, the more you stay away, the more a special event it is when you come along. but it's been an absolute pleasure having you along. I think it's safe to say, along with myself, everybody is looking forward to what you guys come up with next. Have you got anything else to add just before we close out?
Make sure your thumbnail is Matty Meets Warin-Gee.
and then a brackets at the bottom, and also Albriss.
Exactly. Thank
And
you.
I have some final words to it. Let me grab I have an A4 sheet here.
Now that doesn't surprise me. Bring out his book.
Just kidding. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I've talked enough. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
don't apologise. It's been an absolute pleasure. But thank you ever so much for joining me, both of you. It's been an absolute pleasure having you along. I've really enjoyed kind of getting to sit down and talk with you both and getting to know you both better and like kind of
Thank
how
you
your
so
mind
much
works.
for the invitation. Like,
You're
we
more
really
than
enjoyed
welcome.
it, and we feel very honoured.
Well, there we
Can be
go.
a part of it.
There is our very first Matty Meets. So make sure to stick around with the channel where I will be having more Matty Meets in the weeks upcoming. I've got more guests, including Flooded Tombs, Moomin Little Socks, NH99, Linda, lots of esteemed guests, Yambi K. So lots of people that are going to be coming along where we're going to sit down, have a talk with them and see where their ideas come from. And I'll be back very soon with more Planet Coaster Spotlights. I will see you all then. Take care, stay safe, look after yourselves, and I will see you all very, very soon. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.